Welcome back to another video. Today, of course, we're going to be looking at the Leica SL2. I've been waiting to get my hands on this camera because, well, if you've shot with a Leica before, you'll know why I was so excited to get my hands on this. So let's just dive straight into what this camera is all about. So obviously it's following on from the already very impressive SL1, which we did a full video review on, which you can check out on our YouTube channel. We've been using two lenses, the Leica L-mount 24-90, f2.8 to f4, which is a lovely kind of all-rounder lens. You can definitely use it for portrait, but you can use it for landscape as well. You can use it for you could use it for street photography. In fact, I did go out and do some kind of street photography stuff. It's not the most subtle camera for street photography, but certainly, you know, that Leica heritage of doing that kind of thing, I wanted to at least give it a go. And we've been using the Leica M-mount 50mm f1.4 because I wanted to just try that out really. I wanted to see what that was like with this camera. Of course I use the adapter, but that is a beautiful lens. Obviously it's manual focus, which at f1.4 can be a little bit tricky. But it makes, I don't know, it's something about it that makes me feel like a real photographer, if you know what I mean. Now it goes without saying that the design on this camera is absolutely gorgeous. You've got a nice big logo, you've got beautiful angles. There's just something about Leica cameras that looks so fantastic all the time. But there's big ergonomic improvements with the camera as well. The grip feels incredibly nice to hold. It's significantly better than on the SL. It's super deep. Oh, it just feels very comfortable. And there's a good weight to the camera. You know, this is not a super lightweight camera, but that grip makes it so comfortable to use, whether you're out and about. You know, I was out in particularly unpleasant weather at some points. Not so much rain, but just wind. But just holding this all the time, no problem at all. You know, portraiture, whether you're indoors, outdoors, it's just very, very comfortable to hold. You've actually got two customizable buttons just on the front here, kind of where your fingers would go. Now, I don't have any issue kind of differentiating between them. I feel that there's enough of a ridge between the two buttons that it's easy to actually identify whether you're pressing the top or the lower one. You can absolutely do it with your grip hand, so you can set them to be something. Some people might find that they're a little bit too close together because they are literally touching, but to be honest, I quite like the placement of them. They don't take up too much real estate here, and they're easy to use. You've of course got that rubberized joystick on the back, much like on the SL, which just makes things like selecting autofocus points and stuff like that really nice. It's difficult to explain unless you've used the SL or indeed the SL2, but these joysticks just feel so good, which I know is a silly thing to pick up on, but it really does, you know, it's a cut above other joysticks. It feels lovely. Other things worth noting, of course, the EVF. Now the EVF on this camera is ridiculously good. That's not that surprising to me, to be honest. Leica just seems to have this heritage of having incredible electronic viewfinders, and this is no different. I think it looks fantastic. Of course, it's 5.76 million dots, so it's really nice high resolution. You know, it looks really crystal clear. It's very smooth as well. You know, there's times when I actually forgot it was an EVF. So that goes to show just how good it is. It really does look great through there. Of course, you've got the rear screen as well. Now, do I wish this was a tiltable screen? Yes, realistically, I probably do. But, you know, I do understand that Leica want to keep a sleek kind of profile to the camera, and that screen on there, it does look so nice, such a good looking camera. So I can totally understand maybe why they've not gone for the tiltable screen. It'd be nice to see it, but oh, that design. You've got a full HDMI port on there as well, which I know that a lot of people will be really excited about. 2 card slots and a USB-C port, which you can charge through as well, which I always think is particularly helpful. It means you can just plug your camera in when you go to actually download your images and just leave it plugged in to actually charge it back up as well. Now, I was using the same battery as the Leica SL. I have read and seen other reviews that state that the battery life is not that great. I actually shot for a morning and an afternoon separately, but on the same charge. And I just had one charge. I didn't have to recharge at all. I'm recharging now to do some 4K video, but otherwise that was enough to get me through a morning and a separate afternoon, which for me is absolutely fine. You know, I would probably expect a battery to last about that long. Now, one of the biggest improvements to the Leica SL2 is the introduction of in-body image stabilisation, which works similarly to other brands on the market. It works really well, and combining that with the kind of weight and size of the camera, which makes it kind of more steady to hold in the hands, you know, makes for a very, very steady shot. It certainly helps with low light situations, and of course, with handheld video. So let's jump into image quality for a second. So it's got the same sensor as in the Leica Q2, which means you're getting those massive 47 megapixel images. And they look great, you know, that's no surprise at all. Again, if you've shot with the Leica ever before, Leica stuff just looks so good. I love the colors, I love the amount of contrast. I just think it looks fantastic. You know, Leica L-mount glass and M-mount glass is so nice as well. So whether you're doing landscape, portrait, there's just a look to Leica stuff that you get. There's just that kind of Leica look. And I really, really like it. You definitely get it here as well. 47 megapixels, of course, affords you the ability to crop in post if you want to as well. So if you are a little bit far away and you want to crop later on when you get back, you can certainly do that. 47 megapixels, more than enough detail to be able to do that. Of course, it means you can print massive as well if you want to, but certainly, oh, a lovely, lovely image coming out of this camera. The camera's absolutely no slouch as well when it comes to actually continuous shooting mode. So it'll do 11 frames a second with the mechanical shutter or 20 frames a second with the electronic shutter. I really didn't expect it to be that fast actually, because I just wouldn't kind of imagine Leica cameras with being a very quick, fast shooting camera for sports or something like that, but you could absolutely use this to nail a moment. That's great if you are doing street photography, you're doing an event, you're doing something like that. You are going to be able to nail a specific moment using the high-speed continuous shooting. So I've actually switched over to actually shoot on the Leica SL2 right now, so I'm filming myself on the Leica. And the reason for that, this is a surprisingly good video system. You know, much, much better than I thought it'd be. This must be the best video camera that Leica have ever produced. So in terms of spec, you're talking about 4K up to 60p, and that's with nearly full frame readout, full HD 1080p, up to 180 frames a second, so super slow motion in camera. But the most impressive thing, I'm actually filming right now, so I'm doing 4K 25 frames a second, but that's at 400 megabits per second and the all-eye compression, and that's straight to SD. That's really impressive. That's really high quality 4K. And it looks great. Of course, it can shoot log as well. And the Leica log, I think it's called L-log. They've all got different names, but I'm pretty sure Leica's called L-log. Looks great, and it's probably the best log I've ever used for color grading, which again, I just didn't expect. Of course, shooting at 10-bit helps a lot, and color grading at that, it just looks great. It's just fantastic. It's such a nice workflow experience. But ultimately, this is such a good video system. You can tell I'm surprised. I'm surprised by how good it is. You know, I would consider getting this camera as a video camera, let alone as a stills camera, which is just crazy to me because I think of Leica, I think of stills. But they've clearly taken video very seriously with this camera, and it shows. You know, this is going toe to toe with some of the best cameras on the market for video. This is a beautiful camera, both in terms of the look of the camera itself and the results that it gives you. The colors, that contrasty look of the image, it all just looks fantastic. And on top of that, it's a seriously capable video system as well, with specs to rival a lot of competitors. It may not be something you would probably expect from a Leica, but it shows that the company is certainly taking video very, very seriously. Now, it goes without saying that obviously Leica cameras are not the cheapest cameras, so they tend to attract a certain audience. But I've got to say, you know, there is a reason that this camera is regarded, you know, in such a high way. It does just feel lovely to shoot with, and there's a certain kind of element that is important about that. So obviously the image quality is fantastic. It's a very surprisingly capable video system, but it's the feel that I get while shooting with it that just is difficult to put into words, and it's almost impossible to find in another system. They just, Leica cameras just have a certain way about them that are just special. They're a special breed of camera. Now, of course, I'll pop a link to the actual camera down in the description so you can go and check it out for yourself, the full spec description, all that kind of cool stuff. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That always helps us out. Make sure to subscribe as well if you're new, because there's new stuff all the time. Tutorials, reviews, anything you can think of. Well, photography related. Anything you can think of, photography related. I will, of course, see you in the next video. And as always, thanks for watching.